When you purchase travel insurance, it's not outlandish to accept that you are, all things considered, guaranteed for all parts of your outing. Shockingly, this is seldom the situation. Explorers are regularly disappointed to find that their movement protection inclusion is brimming with openings, with avoidances that are ordinarily expressed in the fine print, however regardless befuddling and some of the time nonsensical. For instance, regardless of whether there's a pandemic or a cataclysmic event out of your control, trip undoing protection doesn't cover abrogation under each conceivable situation. To fit the bill for those, you should buy a drop under any condition add-on. In the event that there's always an opportunity to peruse the fine print, buying travel protection is it. Try not to take my statement for any of the accompanying, or the expression of the individual selling you the strategy, or the business page of the insurance agency site. Read the agreement for yourself. It will be an illuminating encounter. Number 1. Health crises, like pandemics, that begin before you purchase. Likewise with catastrophic events, trip protection may for the most part cover misfortunes because of worldwide well-being crises, yet you should make the buy before the emergency is a known occasion. According to Smarter Travel's Ed Perkins, your smartest option for recovering expenses is drop under any condition. Protection bought before the pandemic was a known occasion. The date from which the occasion is known differs relying upon the insurance agency. For COVID-19 it's generally been January 21st through 27. Most travel protection strategies will not cover wiping out because of dread of a pandemic, so in the event that you need to utilize protection to insure your installments, especially non-refundable airfares, ensure it's a drop under any circumstance strategy. Number 2. Losses due to pre-existing conditions. Travel protection inclusion doesn't reach out to most previous ailments, and the meaning of previous regularly relies upon the circumstance of when you are analyzed and when you buy your movement protection, with an alleged think back period that is typically 60, 90, or 180 days before the day you buy your protection. So, your movement protection doesn't cover misfortunes because of conditions for which there were either indications or treatment during the think back period. You will be covered for misfortunes due to supposed stable conditions for which no adjustment of treatment or manifestations has happened. Let's assume you've had joint pain for quite a long while, with no significant flare-ups or prescription changes in the previous half year. For this situation you would almost certainly be covered in the event that you had an exceptional, incapacitating erupt during your outing. In any case, on the off chance that you been experiencing issues with the condition in the months paving the way to your excursion, your outing protection would be probably not going to cover any misfortunes identified with your joint pain except if you bought a particular extra. Number 3. Natural disasters that begin before you purchase insurance. Outing protection for the most part covers misfortunes because of typhoons or hurricanes, yet you should make the buy before the tempest is named. Comparative conditions regularly apply to other cataclysmic events. In the event that you purchase an arrangement after a spring of gushing lava begins emitting, for instance, you will not be covered for any misfortunes identified with that fountain of liquid magma's movement. Number 4. Dental care. Routine dental consideration is excluded from movement protection inclusion, albeit dental injury might be under certain conditions. One arrangement I assessed gives inclusion just to harm to sound characteristic teeth, for instance. Number 5. Losses due to mental or emotional disorders. Most travel protection approaches don't cover claims including mental or enthusiastic issues like schizophrenia, bipolar turmoil, or sorrow. In uncommon cases arrangements may cover these conditions if hospitalization is required. Number 6. Travel for medical procedures. Most trip insurance will not cover issues that arise for those traveling specifically to get medical treatment, such as procedures available overseas that are not available or are too expensive at home. Number 7. Pregnancy and childbirth. On the off chance that you are pregnant and conceive an offspring while at the same time voyaging, your movement protection inclusion by and large will exclude labor costs. You may, notwithstanding, have inclusion for confusions related with pregnancy or labor. This is one to check cautiously ahead of time in case you're intending to travel while pregnant. Number 8. Risky activities and sports. Dynamic explorers. Observe. Many travel protection approaches avoid misfortunes because of experienced sports, for example, bungee bouncing, backwoods skiing, snowboarding, boating, folding, sky jumping, scuba plunging, you get the thought. A few approaches take this much further, applying exceptions for any games including materially contact. That implies your child's football competition probably won't be covered. If you're arranging a functioning excursion, cautiously check the provisions of your approach prior to submitting. Number 9. Bad weather travel protection tends not to cover climate that restricts your exercises out traveling. For instance, you're covered if the climate is sufficiently terrible to defer or drop your flight, however not on the off chance that it pours during a wilderness climb. Furthermore, except if you purchased a drop under any condition rider, you can't cancel your seashore excursion on the grounds that the figure calls for downpour and mists. Number 10. Security delays or overbooked flights. As per travel protection correlation site Squaremouth, your approach normally will not insure you on the off chance that you fail to catch a plane because of long air terminal security lines, or in case you're knocked from an overbooked flight and miss a resulting association or journey takeoff.